All right, Robin goes on to say the way she communicated about sex with us was so unprofessional. One thing she said was, y'all need more appreciation. And something along the lines of, it's a wonderful thing someone wants to have sex. Sorry,
Nice.
I'm not very mature. It's a wonderful thing someone wants to have sex with you. Enjoy that.
That, oh my God.
I don't think she meant
Okay.
I don't think she meant that like we were so disgusting. It was amazing we had found someone. But that's why I was laughing. That's kind of how I took it. But rather trying to get us into the mindset of gratitude. That's nice.
Sure.
But
There's
it
better ways
really
of doing it.
right. So she says it really bypassed the issues and easily could have been taken the wrong way. And like when I read that, that's exactly how I read it. It was like, oh wow, it's kind of insulting.
Yeah.
Yeah. She also instructed us to only have vanilla penetrative sex, and there were some kind of implication that being quote unquote natural would fix things between us, maybe even on a deeper level beyond the sexual differences. That instruction and implication, the right sex would fix things, didn't sit right with me on many levels. I'm not sure we went back after that session. We only saw her a handful of times and never confronted her about anything because it didn't seem like the therapeutic relationship was worth trying to work on. It was just getting more and more dubious. She clearly was not a good fit. I mean, fair
Mm.
enough. Fair enough. Not a good fit.
Agree completely. Yeah.
I wish that that could have been identified way earlier on, maybe even in the assessment. This is what we're looking for. And the
Right.
therapist could have said, oh, I'm not the right fit for you, but here's a referral or a resource that you can go to for people
Hmm.
who specialize or a way to find someone who specializes in that, maybe. Uh, so I wish it would have been discovered earlier.
That would have been the best course of action is having some sort of a, not a screening process, but just like that assessment tool up front, because here, as the client, here's what I want, here's what I'm looking for, and as the therapist I can either address that or not.
Yeah.
Because to specifically say, why don't you stop doing the thing that you're into and just do it this way instead, that's not okay.
I wonder if that's more for the benefit of the client or for the therapist,
Right.
you know,
Right. It honestly, it
the
feels to
natural way.
me, it feel right. The vanilla way.
Vanilla.
Honestly, it feels to me like that is about the comfort of the therapist, not the wellness of the clients.
So this
And that's
would be,
unacceptable.
yeah, this would be, well, so it's, look, therapists, I don't think it's out of the norm for therapists to give advice. That doesn't mean it's always good advice,
Right.
but I don't personally give advice. I make clear to my clients, I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. We'll figure that out. We'll come up with
Hmm.
options. We'll weigh pros and cons. So I don't think it's abnormal for a therapist to say, hey, try this out. I think when it comes to something that you're
Right.
not knowledgeable about, like I wouldn't tell a deeply devout Catholic how to pray because I don't
Hmm.
do that at all. So for
Hmm.
me to be like, oh, just do it this way, it's like it's I'm not
Right.
coming from a good enough knowledge base. Well, actually, I actually do have pretty good knowledge of Catholicism. So if it
That's
was
a
some
bad
other
example.
religion, yeah, some other religion that I didn't know anything about, that probably
Right.
wouldn't be ideal.
I understand where you were trying to go with that.
Okay, all right.
But I think you're right. I think we're I was taught not to give advice. I think giving advice and giving suggestions or ideas,
Mm,
I think those are two different
sure.
things, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, hey, what would you think, suggestions like what would you think about this, or what would happen if you tried this, versus idea, not ideas, excuse me, versus advice of like, do it this way. Those are two different things. And for sure, I think there are times that we do give advice, but we're not strictly supposed to, like, it shouldn't be like, do
Not
it this
really.
way, this is the only way to do it,
Yeah.
it's the way that I see it is more kind of the suggestions, the exploration process, like let's
Right.
problem solve together, let's figure it out. What do you think would work? So for this therapist, I think I said this already, but for the therapist to outright say, do this might work. Clearly
Right.
that's not okay because they specifically came in with something different in
Right.
mind. Not okay.
So one thing I want to add here is I don't think you have to explain to the therapist why you're leaving. I think it's could be helpful, feedback can be helpful, but you have no obligation to do that. And so
Yeah.
if it's not working out, it's not working out. That's it.
Yeah, I think that's a hard conversation to have. I think any
It
client
is.
that wants to, you're definitely welcome to. I think a good therapist, and I understand we're talking about bad therapy right now, but a good therapist will be able to hear that feedback and then use it constructively. But it's a difficult thing to do, and Justin's right. You're under no obligation to explain anything. You
Yeah.
are the client, you are the one receiving the service, we are the ones providing the service. If you are dissatisfied
Yeah.
with the service, you can seek the service elsewhere. That's perfectly within your rights.
Hey, thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. I, of course, have a lot more stuff here on YouTube, but I also have even more on my website. It's justinlmft.com. I have a blog, I have a podcast, I have free resources, and I have some paid courses as well. Head on over to justinlmft.com. I think you'll like it a lot. This and other content I create is not therapy, not intended to be therapy or be a replacement for therapy. Nothing in this creates or indicates a therapeutic relationship. Please consult with your therapist or seek for one in your area if you are experiencing mental health symptoms. Nothing should be understood to be specific life advice. It is for educational and entertainment purposes only.